All right, today we're going to be looking at triangle ratio word problems. And really the biggest part about this is being able to read the problem and set up the correct ratio. And then after that, you already have the skills needed to be able to solve. So this one is talking about a statue honoring Ray. It's near this university bridge. Basically, we just are going to use the information they provide to find the unknown height, which is x, of the statue. So let's look at this. We have this person here who is standing at 1.8 meters tall, and they are about 2.4 meters from this point on the ground. Then our statue, we don't know the height of the statue, but we know that it is 4 meters from this point on the ground. So we're going to set up a ratio to help us find x, and there's two different ratios we can do. We can do a ratio, set up a proportion rather, within the figures, or we can set up a ratio between figures. Either way, we're going to get the same result. So within figures, that would mean like I'm actually within the same shape. So for example, I'm going to have the height of statue over, we'll call it the distance of statue. So as you can see, I'm still focusing on the statue. And that's going to equal the height of your person over the distance of that point of person. So within figures means like I'm focusing in the same spot, or I'm focusing in the same figure. Between figures is when you're mixing and matching in a way. So if I start with the height of statue, if I'm going to go between my figure, I'm going to now look at the height of the person. Please notice that I'm still looking at the same corresponding value, like I'm looking at height, but I'm looking at the two different figures now. And that's going to equal the distance of statue. We'll keep the statue values on top over the distance of the person. So like I said, either of these ratios will work. It doesn't matter which one you pick. So let's fill in some values. The height of the statue is x. So if I'm going to start on the within figures, height of the statue is x over the distance of statue is 4. That's going to equal the height of the person, which is 1.8 meters, over the distance, which is 2.4. If I set up the ratio between figures, the height of the statue is still x. The height of the person is 1.8, which is going to equal the distance of the statue, so that's 4, over 2.4. Now, if you notice, although these are two different ratio setups, we're still going to be cross-multiplying and then dividing. So here I'm going to do x times 2.4, and that's 2.4x. And then that's going to equal, cross multiply, 4 times 1.8, and 4 times 1.8 is 7.2. Now if you do the same thing on the other ratio, it's still going to be x times 2.4, and that's 2.4x, and it's still going to be 1.8 times 4, which is still 7.2. So again, no matter which ratio you have set up, it's going to work out. Now we're going to use our Algebra 1 skills, and we're going to solve for x. Right now it's 2.4 times x, so we're going to do the inverse operation, and we're going to divide by 2.4 on both sides. And when you do that, you get that x is 3 meters. And we'd like to write that as an answer statement. And I'm going to write it up here because that's just where I have room. The statue . Oops, if I could spell. statue is 3 meters tall. So make sure you write your answer as an answer statement, please. All right, so now let's look at another example. The next example, a tree is 24 feet tall and it casts a shadow of 12 feet long. Then we have Brad, who is 6 feet tall. We want to know how long Brad's shadow is. So, unfortunately, this does not give you a diagram. So if you are not provided a diagram, please draw one. And it could be as simple as 2 triangles, or if you want to have fun with it and actually draw out the scenario, that's fine too. So here I have a tree that is 24 feet tall. So here's my tree. Okay, and it is 24 feet tall. And it's going to cast a shadow that is 12 feet long. So if you notice, here is your triangle. Okay, then we're going to have Brad. Brad is 6 feet tall. 6 feet tall. And he's casting a shadow of X feet. We do not know how long it is yet. And then you can see here is that triangle. So like I said, you could get as elaborate with your picture as you want, or you could just draw your 2 triangles, whatever works. Then you pick the ratio that makes the most sense to you. Now looking at these numbers, a lot of us can probably already see what the answer is based off of what we learned about scale factors. But keep in mind that the lesson in the practice today is triangle ratios. So we would really like you to set up ratios to solve this. So if I'm going to do within figures, I'm going to do 24 feet over 12 feet. So that's me looking at the tree. And then I'm going to equal that to 6 feet over X feet. So I'm focusing just on Brad. If I did a between ratio, if I do a between ratio, then I'm going to have 24, the height of the tree, over the height of Brad, and that's going to equal the length of the shadow, which is 12 feet of the tree, over X. Now, regardless of which one you choose, you're still going to cross multiply the same numbers. So 24 times X is 24X, and that's going to equal 12 times 6, which is 72. And that's the same no matter which ratio you do. Then we're going to divide using our Algebra 1 skills on both sides. And 72 divided by 24 is 3. So X equals 3. And then we're going to write that as an answer statement. Brad's shadow is 3 feet.